What's up, everybody? We're here.
It's top 10. It's top 10.
We have something really serious to talk about. Despite this man's inability to show a maturity that it's really disappointing. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're just going to do top 10.
Yeah, it's kind of the, I feel like it's the time.
Hold ya! I was so disappointed. I just didn't sell that at all. I gave up.
He did not. It was like 3/4 effort right there. It didn't go all the way.
I got bored with my own performance.
But yeah, we've toyed with the idea of doing a top 10 games of all time for a while.
Here's the thing. The Brothers Murph are here to break the mold. However, lists are fun and people dig it.
They are, and people do dig it. And I was curious because, like, we have very similar tastes in games. And so I was always kind of like, no, let's not do a top 10 of all time because I feel like it would literally just be the exact same top 10 and us just repeating it in slightly different orders.
It might happen.
And while I think there's going to be a lot of crossover in this, I don't think it's going to be quite as much as we think. And so I was like, you know what, screw it, let's just go for it. If it turns out that like 8 out of the 10 are like the same on both of our lists, maybe we won't do this again until our taste in games starts to differ a little bit. But as of right now, I'm curious. I know there were some on my top 10 that I didn't expect to be there, and they are. And so I wanted to do it, and now we're doing it.
Fuck it. Number 10.
Alrighty, so number 10. Alright, number 10 was one of the ones that surprised me.
Surprised that you made that major
yes,
list?
Yes, it surprised me my list.
Low?
No, it's surprised that it made my list.
Monopoly.
It's because it's very, very new. We've only played it a couple of times, but I just...
I bet I know.
What do you think it is?
I'm going to guess Queen Domino.
No.
Really?
No. That's Queen Domino for me was 22.
Okay.
It's not quite that new. It's viral is what it is. It is.
Really?
Arcane Wonders, Dice Tower Essentials, viral. I don't know what it is. And here's the thing is, I think it's going to climb. I really do, because it's still pretty new.
Wow.
But I think about this game all the time. I really do. I'm always just like, every once in a while, like, I'm always just like, man, I'd like to play Viral. And like, whenever we're thinking about games to play, I'm just like, I want to play Viral. I don't know. It's just, there's something about, like, Area Control. I like Area Control games. Viral is a great Area Control game where you're all playing a bunch of different viruses that are taking over a body, and you're trying to just kick each other out, and like you're trying to be the dominant virus in the body. Really, it's Area Control. It's pretty mean, but I don't know. There's something about the art and the theme. Yeah. it all comes together in such a good, fun package. Yeah, I absolutely adore it.
It's a complete package. It really is. It's taking Area Control isn't something that I necessarily gravitate toward. We just haven't tried to play many. But
but Area Control,
the theme is really accessible for
somewhat mean as a whole, and we're not really mean gamers, and so
that's true.
But yeah, viral snuck in at 10. It was I was astonished that, and I really think it's gonna climb from there. I think it has the potential.
Mine's viral for me is down the list a bit, but I've only played it twice.
Yeah,
Nick's played it a little bit more, and I think it will climb the list.
I really like it.
I do.
All right, so what's your
number
10?
Good enough to own. So there you go. For me, my number, Ace. I don't know how to say world. Okay, it's Small World.
Okay.
Small World. The world that's not very small is number 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We both. No. That wasn't in it towards the game.
Or were you dogging my Spanish?
No. Yeah.
Dogging me Espanol, Mike.
All right, so interesting. We both have Area Control games for our number 10.
Small World I guess Small World is,
Small World for me wasn't even in my top 30. Yeah, I know.
Vince, that's one of the games we've had the longest. What's wrong with you?
I love it. Where is it?
Yeah, you don't even know. I know exactly where it is at all times.
Where is it? Oh, it's right here.
That's how I find my way home. I don't use navigation. I say, well, Small World is to the west of me now, and then south. Yeah, you know what? I wasn't expecting it to maybe hit quite that high. It's just a game that we've had for a long time, and it's been solid. This was I think the first time we went to our board game cafe, our local cafe, Game House.
It was.
And I think we were taking a look at it, and these guys sat down that were like just nerdy gamer dudes, slightly alpha, and they showed us Small World, but that was one of those games that like looked really intimidating for some reason. And those guys were able to kind of get us into the game quickly, and it's just gone up ever since then. Every time we play it, I love it. I love it at the different player counts because the maps are different, so it like literally is built to scale well.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we have the rivers thing, and I really want to play that sky one too. That
one looks. Except it doesn't play at 2 players, which kind of takes it away.
That's
from
the
me
thing
for a
about it
little
is
bit.
like Small World is really good at 2 player.
Yeah.
It's really good up to 5, I think.
Yeah.
And all the variations of creatures and then their abilities is just keeps it great.
That was one where I was astonished at how low it was going.
I'm offended.
When I was doing the list, it kept going low, and I was
offended.
just like, oh, because I get so attached to games where I'm just like, oh no,
know.
I'm gonna hurt this game's feelings
Yeah.
if it's low, and I'm like, no, just be brutal, cut it down, and yeah, it didn't even make the top 30. I was like, wow, wow, 2 shockers. That's well, not really. I figured Small would be on.
That's the difference between Brothers Murph. We make our list shocking. Wait for uno to be numero dos. Back to Espanol.
Let's go to number 9.
My number 9.
Shock us again.
This is a game that we've been wanting to get to the table for a while, and we finally got it down just the other day and dominated. Had probably our best game ever at it in terms of just building a good deck and then executing. So this is going to be Lord of the Rings.
Really? Your top 10?
Is it not on your top 10?
No.
This guy has like 10 to 15 Lord of the Rings shirts. Literally for a time. Literally for a time was the highest ranked Californian in Lord of the Rings trivia, and it's not even in his top 10.
Here's the thing. We don't play it that much because it's a lot of
times played.
And here's the thing. And on top of that, we need. We're back. We're really back in. We've been playing a lot recently. We need to get more expansions to play it. And that's the thing. I think once we start playing more expansions, because for me, it's 25. I know it's not
barely made your people's top 100. How
I know.
dare you?
I'm sorry, but I love it. I think we're back into it. We've been playing it more. I think once we get the next expansions, I'm gonna be born back into it. I'm sorry.
Which ring does Gandalf wear? You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
I didn't know what it is. Fine.
I thought I knew this guy.
Okay. Don't even. No. Don't.
Who's Galadriel's husband?
Celeborn. That's not even.
I tossed you a cookie for that just to save grace.
I'll get out of here. All right. My number 9.
It's a great game. I didn't even get to talk about the game. It's a great game.
Go. What is it?
What kind
of game is it, Mike?
It's a deck building game.
Deck building in the way that like
selecting,
Magic is, where you make a deck and then you play the game with that deck.
It's like literally you build a deck.
Yeah.
First.
Before the game, though. Yeah.
And it takes you through. Well, there's so much to it now. Here's the thing, like it's just one of those money pits.
Yeah, that's honestly why I think it ends up going lower is because I'm just like, oh, it's gonna take so much money.
It's gonna take so much, but like that. This is one that it's a very solid game. I think it's great at 2 player. I think it's best at 2 player.
I think
so obviously it works for us.
Only ever play it at 2 player.
Yeah, and it's just. Oh, it's satisfying for Lord of the Rings fans because there's all these characters from deep within the lore and everything, and just getting to like build up. You know, you have Boromir and Frodo and different things. It's just great for Lord of the Rings fans. I don't know necessarily if you weren't into Lord of the Rings how into it you'd be.
Probably not. That's a lot of like really heavy themed games.
Yeah, I think that's most games, but it's just that's why I like it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I just realized that I was just so mad. I know
you didn't get to talk about it. I
forgot our purpose.
And we destroyed last time we played.
God,
on like a really hard one too, and like we just absolutely just killed it. Got what we needed to.
I don't even think it was necessarily luck. Like we
killed it. Yeah.
So, anyway,
all right. My number 9. I'm guaranteeing gonna be much higher on his list. I don't know if it's gonna be. It might be number 1. I don't know. I honestly don't know what his number 1 is. But number 9 is a deck builder, a wonderful adventure deck builder called Clank. I do love me some Clank. We haven't played Clank in Space yet. I really want to though.
Yes.
But a Clank is a deck builder, but it's a deck builder with a board. It's a deck builder with more of a purpose than something like Dominion, where literally that's the entire game is just deck building.
Yeah.
Which is why Dominion is lower. Like games are just deck building. I tend to not like quite as much.
I agree.
I like when there's deck building as a part of the game. It's a separate part of the game. And so Clank is a perfect hybrid of that, where it's like you're building your deck and you're going down in a dungeon trying to steal treasure from the dragon. But the dragon really, really freaking hates that. And then it's just, I love
Which is fair, by the way.
You're making noise, and you're putting your noise cubes, which are called Clank, into this bag, and then you randomly draw them out constantly. So it's a bit of like, you have no idea whose cubes are going to come out, and you can be like killing it, not making that much noise, but just from bad luck, a lot of your cubes come out, and then you have to play more. You have to adapt as the game goes based on how much damage you're taking because you're making noise. It's just so much fun. It's super easy to teach. It's just great. We have the Sunken Treasures expansion, which is super great. I just love it. Every time we play it, I like it more, and it's a wonderful little deck builder. Deck building, I have figured out, is one of my favorite mechanics. I'd probably say it's probably my second favorite mechanic. Because there are 3 deck builders on my top 10, and this is one of them, and I absolutely love Clank.
Word. Clank is dope. More on that later.
Why are you laughing so much?
More on that later.
Yeah, it's going to be much higher in his list. Let's roll to number 8.
Don't hate. So what have you got, senor, for number 8?
For number Ocho.
Oh, God.
ESPN 8, the Ocho. This is one that, like, was blowing my mind when I was making my list on how it just I kept
rising.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
the
I kept
unkillable
every
game.
single time. How we did our lists is we did it in the same way that Tom Vassell does his list, where he just writes down a bunch of his games on flashcards, and then you shuffle them up, take a random game out, and say it's I don't know, Shakespeare. And then you take another card out and you go, okay, do I like this game more or less than Shakespeare? And so you just keep doing that until you have your list. And this one, every single time I came to it, I was just like,
to the right.
I kept putting it to the right. I kept putting it as higher. And it surprised me. And really, because what I was thinking about when I made my list was like, how often do I want to play it? And how much do I enjoy it? And it's funny because this game actually doesn't come to the table that much and stuff. And it's a pretty light game. It's a tile placement game. It's gorgeous. My number 8 is Lanterns.
Whoa! Oh man, that
I
didn't
don't know
make
why.
the first cut for me.
I
love
know.
that game.
I know. I don't know
You
what
do
it is.
dig
It's
that
just.
game.
It's. I know. I love it. It's just. There's something.
Wow.
I'm so charmed by that game. I don't know why. It's just because it's simple. It's so relaxing. You're just. Also, I also found that I like tile placement games.
Yes,
Like
very much.
I
so.
really like tile placement games
Agreed.
a lot. It's probably my second or third favorite mechanic. It battles with deck building. It's one of my favorite mechanics. I really like tile placement games. And so, like, it's just relaxing. It's just simple and elegant and gorgeous. I love the look of the board. And you're just picking a tile and then figuring out where you want it and just place it. You're getting cards and there's something about that game that I just adore. And every single time I kept coming to things, I kept going, I like Lanterns more and putting it up, and then like I like Lanterns more and putting it in front, and it was blowing my mind. Finally, I got to I had 10 cards that were like giving me my top 10. And I had to sort them,
and
Lanterns was in there, and I was just like, Lanterns is in my top 10, and then it ended up not even being like I was like, oh, it's definitely gonna be number 10.
Squeak in.
It's gonna be number 10. It's gonna be the squeaker, and it wasn't. It's number 8. I don't know. Such a fun, relaxing game. I just love it. I love it.
It's good. It's easy. It's aesthetically very pleasing.
Yes.
It's a good one to teach. We've taught this to many people. You've taught it to even more people.
Yeah, because I know work. Yeah.
And with the Emperor's
Gifts
little
expansion,
thing that we've only played a couple times, just gives it a little more game.
Yeah,
I agree, man. Lanterns didn't make my list
at all.
For today, but it's a great game. It really is.
I love it.
That's one that I honestly overlooked, to be honest. I just
that was the one
give it
that
much thought.
shocked me more than anyone. I was blown away that Lanterns was on my list.
Insane. I love that. Okay. For me, number 8, I really wanted it to be one better so that it could work out. But it's not. So number 8 for me is 7th Continent.
Oh man, I was wondering.
7th Continent.
This is my 15.
Okay.
And it's one of those things I'm guaranteeing this will probably make it in my top 10 eventually. Just because we've only gone through one curse, but I think it's funny because there's certain times where making this list, I was like, I wanted to fight my actual feelings because I'm like, no man, you should diversify. So you only have like one of these types of games or anything, and it just. And I just got too into my head about it, and I was just like, oh, I should put time stories higher because we've had it longer and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
stupid.
I get that way too.
And it just kept going up. Yeah. And it's really fun. And yeah, we've only played one curse, but we've sunk probably 20 hours into this game.
Yeah.
it's just... I really like D&D because it's just storytelling. I'm an actor. We're both artists. Storytelling is compelling, and Seventh Continent is just story. Like, when you look at it, it's just a couple, like, mini-minis.
Yeah.
And then cards. And it's so exciting
it's the
and
exact
entertaining.
Same mechanic over and over and over
Yeah,
again. Everything is solved, no matter whether you're digging or exploring or fighting. It's all done in the exact same way, and there's just something about it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing about it, is that it's so mechanically simple that it just allows you to be immersed in the story. You don't have to take yourself out to think about much.
Yeah.
Like, right when we were first starting, we were doing a couple clarifying questions and things, and once we got through that, it's just story time.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. We've been through one curse. I'm so excited now to do a different curse and
yeah. I'm excited to be off that curse. That one was a grind.
Yeah, like be in maybe similar parts of the island or continents and things that we were before, but all of a sudden the context is new because we have a different mission. So Seventh Continent is my number 8.
Nice. All right. Now to lucky number 7, which is not Seventh Continent for me.
Thank you.
For Mikey. Mike.
So number 7, this is a game that I wanted for a long, long time. This was a game that Nick sold me on a simple explanation.
I think I know what it is.
Thematically, extremely interesting.
Yes, I know what it is.
And it happens to have a mechanic that I've now discovered is my favorite game mechanic, that being worker placement.
So
pooping. Pooping?
I thought pooping was
yes. Any game where there's poop, it's great. So Nick sold me on Dungeon Pets very early, and I heard about this game.
Easiest sell ever. He's like, I can make monsters that poop? Yeah, I'm down.
And like, people want to buy it because it poops. And like, I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yes, like, Nick sold me on this game so long before he played it. It was a long time past.
Oh, yeah.
And then we played it and, like, did not even disappoint. It's been a great game in our collection for a long time. We really want to play the Dark Alleys. We almost got to play it over the weekend and we just didn't have time.
Yeah.
But Dungeon Pets is just a great worker placement game with just a fun-ass theme slapped right onto it. You know, you have these cute little monsters. The art is fantastic. Yeah. Components are great. And it scales well to 2-player. Plays up to 4, I believe, really well, and it's just kick ass, man. I just love worker placement, and the theme is top notch.
Yeah, there'll be some worker placements that are just higher on the list.
That's my number 7. Yeah. It is one of the worker placement games on my list.
Yeah, worker placement is by far both of our favorite mechanics.
So there's gonna be some overlap there.
So okay, number 7. Okay, here's the last of the ones that surprised me. There was 3 that surprised me. One was viral. One was Lantern. This is the last one that surprised me that made it on my list.
So the top's going to be...
The rest I was pretty sure was going to be my top 10.
Okay.
This is a game that I can honest to God say is my favorite game to teach new gamers. I don't know. This is kind of like Lanterns where I'm just like, I don't know why I like this game so much, but I always want to play it, and I just absolutely... God, I just adore it, and I don't really know why. Simultaneous selection. What is it?
Histrio?
It's Histrio.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this game.
I don't either.
It's simple and it's easy. I do enjoy simultaneous selection as a mechanic. I don't know what it is, but just every single time we have people who haven't played it, I'm like, let's teach them Histrio. Let's play Histrio. Let's teach them Histrio. Almost more than anything else, especially like new gamers, because the art is just, it's like bombic, so it's very it's bombic, so it's very overproduced, which I love in games. Yeah, and it's just the art is gorgeous. It's these they could have just made it with people, but there's these anthropomorphized animals instead, and it's just charming. I enjoy just like games that charm me for whatever reason, and it's just you're putting on a play for the king, but the king's mood keeps switching. From wanting a tragedy to wanting a comedy, and you can manipulate that mood. And just every single time we teach someone new it, they always love it, and it's just...
Yeah, it goes over well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And on top of that, like, new people can be competitive in it. Like, I often don't win this game. Like, usually someone new wins the game, which I think is great, especially with gateway games. And when you can come in, you're instantaneously competitive. I think it's very important for gateway games. Yes. But it's just... anytime we have someone who hasn't played it, I'm like, let's play Histrio. Let's play Histrio. I always want to play it. And it's one of those things. The main problem with it is, and we've been able to play it as we started our game group. We've been able to play it more often now, but you need 3 players, and that's what sucks is because we don't get to play it. Same like Viral. Viral's kind of similar. I'm like, let's teach Viral. Let's teach people Viral, but we have to have 3 players, which is becoming more common for us, which is nice. But I just adore Histrio. It very much surprised me that it was on my top 10. And the fact that it made it all the way to number 7 was surprising as well.
Pretty impressive.
I really, really love Histrio by Bombix. It's
a damn charming game.
Yeah, it's just so damn charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit it, man. It's it just makes you feel good, man. And that's the point, ain't it?
Yeah. Now it's time to go have some 6. My number 6. So fast.
Give me a hot one.
So fast.
Coming in hot.
So fast. My number 6 is not probably going to be a surprise to me or anyone that knows us very well. My number 6 is Marvel Legendary.
Legendary, a Marvel deck building game?
Yes, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. I hate the name of it so much. One, because I don't really like really unnecessarily long. Like, Clank is technically Clank, and
a deck building adventure
game. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Just call it Clank. Legendary Marvel, because I never remember if it's called Marvel Legendary, whatever thing. And so whenever I'm trying to type it into BGG, I always screw it up. Whatever. I like Marvel Legendary. I like deck builders. Yeah, it is not my favorite deck builder, weirdly enough. But we have an insane amount of content for it. We have a ton of expansions. We don't even have them all. We have a ton of them. We had to make our own custom box, which is what my extension, that's our own custom box for it. We have something like, I think, 100 heroes, 1 billion masterminds and villains. We could never, ever, 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 even if we had multiple lives, play all the combinations for this game. And I just love it. I just like taking 5 random heroes. We have a randomizer. We just do it random against a random mastermind with random villains and a random scheme. And just seeing if it works. Yeah. How does Storm work with Tigra? I don't know. Let's try it. I highly enjoy that. I really love it when we come across a combination of mastermind, scheme, and villains that is really, really hard. Because we've gotten pretty good at this game to the point where we usually beat it. So I really love when we come across one that we can't beat, and we have to keep trying it over and try to bring in more heroes, and even have to get to the point where, like, okay,
we got to cherry pick this.
Yeah, we got to I like cherry picking when we have to, you know? And so, like, I love it. It's one of those games where it's by far our most played game. When we got it, we played it, I would say, at least probably 2 or 3 times a week for at least an entire year.
Yeah.
And we kind of get hot and cold on it now. We're like, we'll get really, really into it and play it all the time. And then we'll have a month or so we won't play it, and then we'll just kind of get back into it and play a lot for like a week or 2.
It's like sugar, man. If you get off it, you're okay. But if you creak that door open, you're going to kick that F down.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, a lot of times when we get back on it, we're like, what game do you want to play? And we do this thing where we both just stare at our shelves, and then we'll be like, I just want to play Legendary again, you know? And so,
right?
And one's like, oh, me too, great, let's play it. And so I really like Legendary. It's a great deck builder, especially if you want just an insane amount of combinations and stuff. It's just a blast.
So that just made me curious. I got a question for you folks out there. We, for whatever reason, get like anxious about playing the same game in a close proximity to each other. Like, we'll do that where we played a decent amount of Legendary, and we'll like do anything we can to convince ourselves to play something else.
I know, it's so like weird.
I don't know why we care. Who cares? No one's like,
sure, I'm playing a lot of Legendary. Feelings. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's so funny.
We do that a lot, yeah. We're always kind of like, I could play something else.
Just moving like, woman bones to make sure it feels like included, you know?
Yeah, like, why don't we just play it?
Yeah, I just don't know if y'all do that as well. Let us know.
Yeah,
Let us know if we're nuts or not.
Yeah, so my number 6 is Legendary. Marvel Legendary, specifically.
So my number 6 has been mentioned before.
Is there first crossover? There's going to be more.
Nah, I don't know. There might have been, but there's going to be a lot more. Again, we do, but this was also surprising to me. It's a game that just would not go away. This is a game that was mentioned very recently by Nicholas William Murphy, and that is Histrio.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Really?
I was just as surprised, man. You were taking the words out of my mouth when you're like,
no way.
It's so
I
charming.
think it'd be in your top 20, maybe.
I was surprised, dude.
I did not think it'd be that high. Well, that makes me feel better about mine. Not that I felt bad about choosing History, but like...
I mean, everything Nick said is true. It's light, it's quick. Very fast.
Wow.
I mean, if everyone knows this game, you can be 20 minutes and out. You really... Not excluding setup and takedown.
Yeah, of course.
But, like, you can teach it to anybody. And it's a good game because, like, there's enough moving pieces that, like, I think mentally folks will be more able to grok like harder games. So once you get some Carcassonne in and whatnot, then you start hitting with a Histrio. It's always gone over well with people because it's just such a fun theme and with great artwork. It just it's right up there.
I did not expect that. I thought I was gonna be like this. The one who had the weird Histrio choice.
It pushed out other things.
And it's even higher than mine.
Yeah.
Wow.
It pushed out other things that honestly I thought, based on how long we've had the games and how much we played, that would make it. And maybe that's a new maybe because it is newer to our collection. But it just always goes over well at game night. So Histrio, my number 6. Yeah.
This is top 5 right here. Top 5 right now.
So this is another thing. When I was making my list, I felt bad because these two games just ended up being right next to each other. But call me a sucker. Call me just a self-lover because I am an actor. And I do love the theater.
I knew this would be high on your list.
And this is a worker placement game that is quite fun. It is all based in the theater. And in fact, it is about putting on a most prestigious play for the Queen.
Also for the Queen, yes.
For the Queen. Only for the Queen. This is going to be Shakespeare.
Yeah.
A fantastic worker placement game, especially when you have the backstage adaptation of Holland. You like that? UPON. No, don't matter. Shakespearean. Shakespeare, man. This game is great.
You know the thing about Histrio and Shakespeare? I feel like these are games that no one ever talks about.
What's the problem with people, man?
I don't get it.
Actor haters, dude.
Shakespeare is such a good game, and no one ever talks about it. It drives me crazy.
It's right there in the shop for a reason, folks.
Look at Clank, Shakespeare, Dungeon Pets. 3 games have been, and Photosynthesis will probably be.
This game we only played once. We disbarred from listing because we just bought this. We played it once. We're gonna play it probably right after we finish recording this. But this will be on the list. It's just
I'm sure it'll be
right now.
Top 20 as of right now.
It's being very beautiful on our shelf. But yeah, okay. So Shakespeare, it's all about. I mean, Shakespeare takes worker placement, and it's just probably one of the more fierce ones because you have such little time. Yeah. You don't have enough time to do it all. You don't.
It is the absolute epitome of I need to do 12 things, and I can do 2 of them.
Yes, especially because they have the whole bidding mechanic where you purposefully limit how much you can do in order to make sure you can do the very most important things.
Yes.
And the backstage expansion allows you to use those pieces that you do not bid with to do backstage stuff with. And you know what's the one thing I'll say is it doesn't open up the game too much.
No.
It gives you a couple more options, but it doesn't just make it too easy on you. You still don't have enough time.
Yeah, because the game's like decently, it's a midweight Euro. It's decently heavy, but like it could very easily get overcomplicated. And I'm glad that
Thank you.
That the backstage did not. Keep that in. Keep that in. I don't care.
That's a real deal.
I'll touch my brother's eyebrows.
Brothers Murph are real. Do you think these things quark themselves? No, they don't.
Great brows on this one. Seriously.
Look at that. That's only halfway to full intensity.
He's got seriously
60%?
great. You pluck? You don't pluck. He's got great brows, whatever.
This right here.
I don't have a great face. This one though. Look at this profile. The worst.
My ears. Yes. I'm sorry.
He's got a cute nose. I have
a little button.
I have a horrifying nose.
Anyway, that doesn't get to the point. What is your number 5, Nick?
My number 5 is my highest deck builder. What do you think it is?
Highest deck builder?
Yeah.
You said Clank. You said Legend. Oh my god. Hero Realms?
No. Hero Realms was 28.
Deck builder. I'm trying to... Dominion? No, I don't know. I have no effing clue.
My number 5 is Baseball Highlights 2045.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the top 10. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I love
it is
baseball
a deck
highlights.
builder. I don't think of it as that.
Because it's very small. You only have 6 cards.
Because you're not
at all
shuffling
times.
up like all the time, but you are building a deck of cards.
Yeah, it's a deck builder. It's a small deck builder, but...
Oh, man.
We're big baseball fans. We literally just got done watching the World Series game. We're big baseball fans. This game feels like baseball. I love the theme. It's super weird and it's just interesting. I love the way it plays. I like the fact that whenever you draft a new player from the free agency, you have to get rid of one of your original. You have to get rid of another player. Son. Yeah, so you always have 15 cards. Your hand just gets better and better and better. Almost everyone talks about how you should, go straight to the free agency and like draft cards or whatever. I highly enjoy playing a 5 series game and then the World Series set. We almost always play the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because I like starting with just the basic deck and then slowly growing to the point where once you're to the point where you're in Game 7 of the World Series, like you are almost
you're beefy, dude.
Dope ass cards all the way through. And I just it's wonderful. I love the fact that you're constantly playing defense and offense at the exact same time. It's quick. It's fun.
Yeah.
If you love baseball, you'll love it. If you don't love baseball, you'll probably still like it because it's a great deck builder. But it's
unique too.
This game.
It's unique in the way that you are playing offensively and defensively at the same time, and you have to make some decisions of like, I'm just going to allow these runs to cross because I need to save.
And trying to get in the other player's head.
Yeah.
Because when you draft a card from free agency, it goes on top of your deck, so you know that they are going to have that card in their hand that turn. And that's also, I like that you don't have to wait for it to shuffle through. And so you're kind of like,
when's it coming?
He got a card that has 3 home runs. When is he going to play that card? Is he going to play it last? He can try to play it early. So it's like you just have to. I enjoy that dynamic. I enjoy trying to get inside people's heads and stuff.
It's great. Yeah. Now I feel bad for it.
Yeah. Number 5 is Baseball Highlights 20 Pote Ha.
Get on the flow. It's number 4.
But number 4 has already been mentioned. It is a worker placement game.
To the theater.
Nope. No.
To the pet store.
Yeah, I knew that. It's Dungeon Pets. I love Dungeon Pets. I love the theme. From the second I heard about it, I told him pretty much right away. But the second I heard about it and I watched a gameplay, I think on Rado Runs Through, I was just, again, instantaneously charmed with the theme. I love how weird it is and how funny it is. But again, it's a tough worker placement game where you're like, I have 5 things I need to do. I can only do 3 of them. Like, what am I going to do? Do I get food now because I know Mike needs meat?
Yes.
I also need meat.
There's competition for
Should
resources.
I get that new pet now? Should I? Because you're going to have to sell it to this dungeon master, and you're like, they like this kind of pet, so should I get this pet now to like try to build them up to sell them later? It's a lot of work in parts. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And
it really is.
Just, man, oh man, I love this game. I just absolutely love it. It's so good and so clean and so well done. It scales well. And again, it's just one of those themes where if you can see that, like, most times, like, Mike and I love, it's funny because we actually end up liking Euro games a lot, but like our Euro games have to have a good theme, and this is like one where it's just absolutely drowning in theme.
Yeah.
Every single thing makes sense in terms of thematically. I love it.
Like the board is just like crammed with little detailed art and things that just aren't. They don't change the game necessarily, but it's fully thematic, and it really does sell that game.
I just love it. Dungeon Pets is my number 4. It's just the best. It's so good.
So again, we are in crossover city here, but I mean, forgive us, we play
from
games
here on
together.
out. Probably a lot of crossover.
Yes. So my number 4 is Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. For all the reasons Nick mentioned.
I had a hunch this was going to be your number 3. I was wrong, I guess.
Oh. See, there's still intrigue, even if we have a lot of the same games. It's like, where are they going to be? This game is great. We've gone deep in all the expansions, but really, it's like if you just got the base game and then Dark City, you are set for a long time.
Live. You really could,
because you're never going to have the same game twice. And that's what's really cool is the combinations are endless, and you're always playing a new game. And even though we go hot and cold and we ride it in waves, it's every time we start playing it, it just jumps right back up. So that's my number 4.
Look at that tree. It's number 3.
Full of glee. It's number 3. All right, man. My number 3. This is where I was torn up about this.
What is your number 3? I'm so.
How do you possibly rank your favorite games? There's so many on a shelf behind us that aren't even on this list, and that's crazy to me.
Most of them are not.
It's crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
Where is Talisman? So far down. Without this game, we wouldn't be in board game.
Oh, okay.
Without this game, we would not be here, man.
What's your number 1? What is it?
I know. I wonder. This game is Pandemic.
Yeah.
This game is amazing. For the longest time, I just said like Pandemic has to be my number 1 because we wouldn't be here in front of you guys without it.
Yeah, it's true.
We wouldn't.
We
got lucky, man. This guy knew some great people, a family that plays games. And this was on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Fateful night, man. We sit down and they're like, we're going to play this game Pandemic. And Nick maybe had played to that point. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
And they bust out the game. And they'd kind of blinged it out a little bit. So they had like a pill bottle that had the meeples in it. And I had never seen anything like this. I didn't even know that was their doing.
Yeah,
so we got our first copy and there was no pill bottle. I was like,
pill bottle,
bullshit. Like, what's this reprint? And they're like, oh, no, they did that. I was like, so anyway, so again, this is brand new. Yeah. We took it out and we played like the hardest cooperative game. You know, I didn't know there were cooperative games. I didn't know that, oh my God, you know, I was the medic and I was just like, Jesus, just healing people. You healed, you know, and it was just, we probably played 2 or 3 games and it was just one of those things where like, fate happened. Boom. That was meant to happen on that New Year's Eve and we wouldn't be here. And so I just, again, was always like, it has to be number 1. It has to be my number 1. And number 3 is darn close. Yeah. It really is.
It really is, yeah.
It's just a tough, I'm going to let this guy talk more on it later. It's just a tough, amazing cooperative game. I don't. Lanterns in his top 10, man. All bets are off, baby.
I know, oh my gosh.
It's just, I'll let him talk about it. It's great. Pandemic, my number 3. Fantastic game.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
To the theater!
Yeah, exactly. That was very much. This is my. He's the actor. This is my to the theater. This is my
number
theater.
3.
3, yeah. My number 3 is Shakespeare. I love
such a good.
Yeah, no one talks about it. It's gorgeous. I'm a sucker for good-looking games. He is too.
The art is dope. I didn't talk about that.
It's just everything he said and more. I mean, it's such a tight game. It's excruciating because you have 20 things you need to do, and you can do 4 of them.
Someone comes in and takes all the costume pieces. You're like, well,
vying for that, like just for the being able to go first because you get to hire a new employee first. And then you just get to go first.
And you get a victory point right off the bat, which might really be the difference.
Because the game is that's one thing I also like about the game. The game is almost always separated by like 1 or 2 victory points. Like it's never like there's a few occasions where there's almost never like a blowout. It just comes down to the wire. And yeah, those little points and just being able to pick costumes, which is costumes and set pieces, what everyone's going for. Just being able to pick costumes, being able to pick to take 3 4s, and everyone's just like, "You son of a bitch!" just like, and it was just like, "Oh, no, Falstaff's not gonna be dressed for freaking the thing." You know, it's just like,
Ophelia's really well dressed.
Yeah, exactly. Ophelia's just in rags, and you just feel like crap.
The queen really likes your show.
But the whole thing is, you can't just. I love the balancing mechanism of like. You can get all these like really dope actors and
talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, you can get all these really dope actors and really great workers and these great seamstresses and these great handymen and these great set builders. But the better people cost more money. At the end of the game, you have to pay them all, and it is very, very difficult to get money. It's not like because you're a poor actor.
That's so true.
You're hoping to make it to the point where you get to make money. So you have to balance this, and so much of it is just like. Oh my gosh, what can I do to get $2 freaking so that I can just pay this person off? Because you lose a lot of points if you can't pay people. And on top of that, because you're an actor, because we're all in the Hollywood industry in some way or another, it feels like, And just if you can't pay your actors, it hurts, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
it makes it
know?
feel very like scrappy. You're like, hey man, I'd love to have this award-winning costume designer.
Yeah.
I can't afford it.
No.
This girl down the street
I want that
sews clothes for her
but,
cats,
yeah.
and she's gonna come on for free.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. We're gonna make the show happen.
It's so good. It's so tight and elegant. I love it, love it, love it.
Totally forgot about the payment thing, and then
Yeah.
you wait till the very end of the game to pay your people.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's so hard. I love it.
Man, we should play that game.
Shakespeare, play it. No one talks about it, and it's a freaking crime.
Play it.
And Dungeon Pets. No,
damned uncultured
heathens. This
heathens.
is why Ambi, if you're watching, much love for you, girl, because I feel like you're the only person who likes Dungeon Pets as much as us. Yeah. Oh. Come on, foo. It's number 2.
Punch to the face. Here's the thing. I will bet mad money that we have the same number 2. I'm gonna bet
does that
money.
Does that mean your number 1 is what I think it is?
Bet you money, son.
I bet it is too. Wow. I had
you are first, but I'm gonna tell you.
I thought this might be your number 1. Okay, my number 2 is shocker, worker placement.
Yep.
It's about doing something that we don't partake in.
We sure do not.
Mike and I don't drink.
Nope.
We don't go on wine tasting trips.
I love Welch's grape juice, though.
Yes, we don't go on wine tasting trips very often. You know what I love doing is running my own damn vineyard in viticulture, which is my number 2. And I'm guessing it's his number 2 as well.
Ditto.
Dude, crossover.
Dude, all right.
Best.
So we'll just talk about the same time. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Here's the thing about the game. It's
really
so
great.
cool because you can do like tours and stuff, but you can also have winter and summer guests and everything. And you're trying to really balance when you make your wedding. Sorry.
I love it.
You say a little piece and I'll say. 20 seconds. Go. 2, 3.
You're stressing me out.
So you're halfway through. 10.
Oh man, this is a game that is particularly because like Dungeon Pets, great theme.
I love that we get so excited that we just do this.
Oh, what a great game!
Let's
just look at our game selection. Look at these. So okay, worker placement games. Again, my favorite mechanic, his favorite mechanic. Dungeon Pets, great theme, in it for the theme.
Yes.
Shakespeare, great theme, in it for the theme. Viticulture, we don't drink. We've never drank. We don't drink at all. We obviously don't go on wine tastings. Running a vineyard is not that interesting to me in terms of theme, but the second I saw this game and heard about this game, there was something in it where I was just like, I want to play this game. I didn't know why. I had no reason in terms of like, oh, it's because this mechanic seems very interesting. It seems like it would really work and be very, very clean and streamlined. No, it just, for some reason, there was something about this game that for the second I heard about it, I was like, I want to play this game. I don't know why. And just the second I played it, I was just like, this is one of my favorite games.
I think it's because the theme almost seems so good. Are you serious? You're gonna you can make this a game. It just seems like so unnecessary that it works.
I love it.
It super works. There's just a lot to think about in terms of balancing what kind of fields do I want to set up, and then how much do I want to harvest those fields and make juices, and then what wines do I want to make with those juices? There's just a lot going on, and there's a ton of cards to play to help get strategies, go for victory points. There's a lot of paths to victory.
Yeah.
And we've really won and lost with most of the different strategies.
Yeah.
There's a really good kind of bidding mechanic, and this will really work in higher player count games where, whatever spot you choose in the pecking order, you get a bonus of some kind.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the better ones are going to put you lower on the list than others. And if you really must go first, you can do that, but you're not going to get a bonus of any kind. But that's the trade-off. So there's that going on. There's playing all the cards. There's building buildings. There's just a lot to do. Yeah. And we have Viticulture Essentials Edition.
Yeah, we haven't even played Tuscany yet.
Oh,
we still haven't played Tuscany.
That might switch it for me.
I don't think it'll take over my top spot, but it's number 2. It's my number 2 favorite. I always want to play it. I'm always, whenever we're talking about games, because again, we do exactly what we did. We stare at games, and then we say I could play this, and that's how we end up deciding how to play a game.
Yeah.
Almost every single time we always go, I can play Viticulture. Yeah. And then it's just and then we go into a bunch of different stuff. And if we don't choose it, it's always available.
Yeah.
From the moment I saw it, I wanted to play it from the moment I played it. I knew it was going to be one of my favorite games.
It just freaking works. The art is great. Components are great. It just freaking works.
Yeah, I love it.
Ugh.
It's time for some fun. It's number one. You know what my number one is. I think I know what your number one is. Let's see. I know your number one is. Is it? Wow, that's amazing.
What is it, Nick?
It's Clank.
It is Clank.
I know.
A deck building adventure.
Mike loves Clank.
I freaking love Clank.
He does. He does.
It is dope. It is.
What did we get Clank? Did we get in SAC?
We got that at Great Escape Games in Sacramento.
Great game store. Check it out.
Fantastic game store. Great selection, and we literally plan our trips to home. We go home at least twice a year, and we plan Great Escape into it. Yeah. We have money for it. We want to support. Last time we got the player packs for Hero Realms. Yep. Love that store. And Clank, Nick, I think, watched a Tom Bassel review or something, and it just seemed cool. And we just, on that one, we did our research a bit. We watched some reviews and stuff, but we just said we hadn't played it, and we're like, F it, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
It's deck building, it looks interesting, it looks like the Press Your Luck, let's get it. Man, I'm glad we did that. Oh boy, this game is so fun. The deck building is great. Obviously, we love that mechanic. Worker placement is my favorite mechanic, but obviously deck building is pretty popular in my book. Yeah. It was enough to force its number one, but it is the rest of the game around the deck building that makes it happen. It's just you're crawling into a dungeon. The theme is fun. You're trying to make a mad dash, grab some loot, get out, or I just love the thing about how far can I push it? Yeah. Can I get enough boots to move out and get above the line? Oh, yeah. And the fact that you can get to the top and fully escape, and not win because someone else stays down long enough, getting burned by the dragon, and then they manage to grab to the top of the ladder,
swinging their way,
and flop over onto the top of the earth and die and win. I'm like, that's great. And honestly, that's amazing.
I because a lot of people complain about the fact of that, where it's you can just go and smash grab, get out, and kill everyone.
I don't think that's ever worked.
I think it may have worked once, maybe, but usually the person who sticks it out and just gains a bunch of loot tends to win. And so I like that because you can try that strategy, but it's not a guaranteed win. It doesn't break the game.
Yeah.
Which I like.
And there's just a lot to consider, and it's just fun, man. It's just freaking fun. We played this a bunch over the summer. We played it with this guy who plays games, and he literally, we're out in the middle of the woods. You might have seen our Adventures in Board Gaming from Camp Cody. Yes. And we played this game, and he ordered it on Amazon
right
from the woods so that it would be on his door when he gets home.
And then literally the day we all got back to civilization, he sent us a picture of him and his wife playing it.
And he was just because he had already mastered it in his mind. Yeah, what a nerd, Johnny boy. Clank's my number one, man. It's
I had a hunch in my. I thought it would be that or Viticulture. I knew those would be your one and two.
Here's the thing: right when I started making my list, it wasn't my first seed game or anything. But it came up, and as soon as I held it, I was just like, ooh, this is going to go way far. And it just kept going to the right, to the very end, to the right, to the right, to the right. And that's my number one.
Wow, okay. My number one is, I talk about it fairly often. He's already mentioned. My number one is Pandemic. Pandemic was the game that got us into gaming. That definitely holds some water for me in terms of why I like it so much. But ultimately, I love cooperative games. Is this my only cooperative game? No, Legendary we have. Yeah, Legendary. Wow. I like cooperative games.
I got 4.
I'm not a competitive person. I don't enjoy competing too much. In games, I don't really mind it because I don't really care if I win or lose. But I love working together.
Yes.
Pandemic is
you're fighting the game.
So stressful, and I like really hard co-ops, and it has that perfect roller coaster tick 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 tick. Disease! Yeah, so I absolutely. I keep saying I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore this game. It's so darn good, and it started it all. That means a lot for me. But ultimately, I'm always just kind of I always get is it my favorite game? Is it really? And then we play it, and I'm like, yeah, it is my favorite game. Ultimately, every time we play it, I'm like, this is. If I had to pick one game to play for the rest of my life, it'd be Pandemic. No other game would even cross my mind. It would go Pandemic. And then that's what would be it. And that it's just my number one. Everything else Mike said, it's.
And every iteration we've played so far has been great.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't missed really. It's.
I love it so much.
Yeah, Pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
Started from the 10, now we're 1. Yeah.
That was the end of it.
That was our top 10 games of 2017 up till now. These lists might and probably very likely will change.
Yeah, as we play more, as we now have a game groups, a lot of these games that are like of higher player counts, that require higher player counts, we will play more, so we'll probably start shifting in terms of that.
Yes.
We have more opportunities to play these games. I don't know. This was super fun. We've never done this. I've never really done like a really comprehensive like top 10 list. I've never had him do his either, and so it was again some shockers.
It's a fun little first experiment. So thanks for watching us like figure this out. Yeah. Hopefully it was entertaining.
I hope so too. But yeah, so check us out on all forms of social media, which will be right here in the middle of the screen. Boom, 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 boom. Stay tuned. We will be releasing a top 25 through 11 video, which we want to do just because we both went to our top 25. We're like, hey, let's lift them off real quick. So that video will be coming out as well.
Rattle them off.
And yeah, check out all the rest of our videos. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video and other videos. Tell your friends, your mom, your grandma about us.
Yeah.
And until next time, I'm Nick Murphy.
I'm Mike Murphy.
We're the Brothers Murph.
We'll get the heck out of here now. Bye. It's going to have a really anticlimactic ending.